Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Tyra.
Ooh,
What's poppin'?
brand new whip. I do that every time. I don't know what to tell y'all.
We missed a week.
We missed the week. We did.
Busy girls.
Um,
Busy girls. What can we say?
yeah. I don't have an explanation, and I don't have an excuse. I will stand by it in saying life just be life, and that's it. I don't know what to tell you.
Every week. Yep.
Yeah, day for day.
This is episode 111. Isn't that like a
111? Are you sure? I thought we did that episode already.
I literally double checked. Yeah, you always be like, "You sure?"
Yeah, sometimes
No, I triple checked.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ain't nothing wrong with triple checking, and ain't nothing wrong with double asking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 111. Isn't that like lucky number or some shit?
That's the angel number.
Oh, okay. That's what they say.
Shout out to New Beginnings, I guess. Something like that. It's intuition and some other shit. I don't know. Y'all will know better than me, I'm sure.
Right. You rocking your...
Yo, I got my tooth gem in, y'all. Remember once upon a time when, I mentioned I wanted a grill, and Diver thought that was like crazy. Like, why the fuck would you want a grill? That's ratchet. And then I had to show her what I meant when I said it, and she was like, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah, and she got one too. She's just not wearing it.
Yeah, I did.
You see, you can't really see because I'm really far. But we went to the Jersey Creators Market, and there was a guy there that does it. I feel like I mentioned this before, but for shits and gigs, I'll mention it again. And the first time we went, we saw him there. He was getting mad business, and then I was like, we got to come back. Found out he was gonna be there again the second time. We ended up getting tickets. We went, got our teeth, 3D'd and shit. And then we put a deposit down. We had to text him what kind of design we wanted, if we wanted it silver, gold, or this or that. And we settled all that over text message and Zelle. And we got our shit this week. I got two. I got a silver one and a gold one.
And it is not cheap, y'all.
It isn't. It isn't.
It is
but
not cheap.
We could.
It's cute.
I don't know. We could afford it.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
But yeah, so if you follow us on Instagram, we said that we're gonna do a Let's Chat trip part 2.
Ooh.
So yeah, Bali. Make sure I say that right, because somebody was trying to make fun of us.
Can't make fun of somebody who's going.
That sold out pretty quick, which
ASAP.
we were shocked. We didn't think we were gonna sell out. So the company reached out and they were like, "Do you guys want to do a part 2?" We were like, "We would want to do a part 2, just not in the same location because that would be a very long time." So we're gonna do a location close to that, and that is Thailand. So we're gonna go to Thailand, and the dates and the details and all of that, we're gonna talk about it this week on our Instagram stories. But the tickets are gonna go live on Friday, August 16th. And the first 8 people to book do get like the early bird discount. But yeah, crossing our fingers that it does happen and that we do have possibly a part 2.
Yeah, so I just want to say I'm very grateful for the people who booked the first trip for Bali, and we started a group chat and everything with everyone who's supposed to be going, and boy, some funny people in there. So this will be fun and interesting. But for those of you who didn't have the opportunity to book for that trip, or whether it being you didn't know, you didn't get the proper information at the time we were selling, it's all right. This is a redemption round, You can make trip number 2.
Right. And Thailand is a vibe. I've always wanted to go to Thailand. That's also been on my list.
Yeah.
I've only heard great things. I love Thai food. And every time I see pictures, people are like with elephants and they're in these like clear waters, and yeah.
It's an experience for sure. I've never been to Thailand. So I'm all for first times. And what better than doing the first time with, people. I mean, I won't say people that because we don't know each other yet.
Right.
But what better than to do it with a group of people,
I love that we're doing this and we're like, yeah, we're just PTO what and PTO who. And yeah, we just out here just traveling. So come on, man. When the time comes, we will figure it out.
That
So
part. We always gonna figure it out.
right. Um as as some of you guys know, right now I'm self-employed. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but usually in a company you do get a certain number of PTO days. I've been blessed where I've been in companies where it's unlimited PTO, and I'm gonna say that with quotations because with unlimited PTO, it's not really like it sounds good, but when you're in it, it's a little crazy because usually companies that do that, it's like somebody has to cover for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're out and you're good. Like, no, you have to find somebody to cover for you. And sometimes they're covering like a lot of things. So you have to like train them on your job. And you're coming back to chaos because if it's not you doing the job, obviously somebody who's covering you, they have their own responsibilities to do at the job. So it would be crazy. I would be DK off, but I would bring my computer everywhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this is one of those trips. So if you see me with my computer out here,
She working.
¿qué se va a hacer?
Well, she's always gonna work. It doesn't matter if she's self-employed or employed through a company. She's always working.
But yeah, if you see me with my computer in the beach, mind your business. I got meetings to do and
Mind
things
your
to
business.
do.
That's all. Just mind your business.
But yeah, I mean, we love traveling and I feel like it'll be an experience. So yeah, crossing our fingers that it happens because there has to be a minimum of 8 people to go. So even if we just get 8, that will be
Yeah,
perfect
I'm cool with
enough.
just the 8. It don't gotta be a whole.
It don't gotta be
squad.
unlimited.
We were lucky enough for this Bali trip to have 24 people book.
Right,
which
right.
is
Crazy.
a whole lot of yeah.
26 of us.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. But I'm down for, some chilly, intimate group type.
Right. And it's going to be in the summer. I know some people were like, what about for teachers who, don't get more than 5 days PTO? It's going to be the summer. So I know the teachers are off in the summer. So teachers could come too. So yeah, you could bring your partner. You could come single. You could bring your mom. We really don't care. Anybody is welcome. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. The link is also going to be on our bio. You can add your email there. And then once you add your email, you will get notifications via email. And like I said before, there's like a down payment that you have to put down. And then you like pay as you go type thing. So you don't have to pay all at once. But that's all.
Yeah. So get to it. When we pop out, you pop out.
Yeah. We about to be in
That's
Thailand.
simple.
So the other thing I wanted to mention that I didn't talk to you about before, but I think that we should have more guests on the podcast in person in Jersey. So we would love to have more guests because we know that you guys love us, of course. But I do think it would be nice to have some other perspectives on the podcast. And we haven't had a guest in a while. Other than like friends, obviously, but like an outside guest. So if you feel like you have something interesting to share, you and your partner, I don't know, y'all are in a poly relationship, something, you guys you guys have kids, I don't know, anything that's like new and exciting and yeah, something different to bring to the podcast other than just me and JoJo.
Yeah, we're sick of each other.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying, like, it would be nice to have other people. But keep in mind that we do have to be selective because we have to pay for studio time. So it's not free, okay? So we got to pay. But yeah, we'll be in Jersey. But send us a DM or email if you guys would be interested in that.
Yeah, it'd be dope to pick some other people's brains, have some open conversations.
Right.
Or even just, having other conversations that maybe we haven't had or we haven't experienced ourselves throughout our relationship or like separately. We can only tell you but so much. We can only share but so much. So it'd be cool to get other people's, ins and outs on life.
Right. And then the last thing is we're gonna be doing like a little raffle for one of our old mics that we don't use anymore. And we're gonna share those details on Instagram. But pretty much, you just have to do a couple of things to add yourself to the raffle, and you could get a free mic that will ship to you. So be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, so in this episode, we're gonna be talking about single you versus relationship you. Ooh. And we're also gonna go over like some of the submissions that you guys added on our Instagram story.
I love reading IG responses, and that's kind of like a part of the whole, like, as we were just talking about having people on a pod to get other perspectives. I feel like that is an extension of that. So when we come up with topics, or we're thinking about something that may be a topic for the next podcast or whatever, and I post that video and I'm like, yo, I got a question. I love y'all responses. So I just want to thank y'all for even taking the time out to share that with us. Because one thing about me is I'm going to get the reading.
Do you want to start with that? Like what the submissions
were? I'm ready.
Okay.
First of all, I forgot that it was a question. All right. So being single versus in a relationship. These were the IG responses that we got. Somebody said relationship, but with someone who loves you, right?
But what was the question?
The question was, do you prefer your relationship self or your single self?
And they said?
And somebody said relationship, but with someone who loves you, right? And is peace, what? Is your peace in this crazy world valid? Wow. I don't even have to read all these, which I haven't read these yet. This is my first time reading them, but I already know everybody's a relationship girl.
Yeah. I mean, even with the poll, because I also did a poll.
I seen that too.
And most people said.
I said, what?
Nah, people love relationships.
But you know what? I feel like the people who
They're lover girls.
People who went for relationships are probably a majority single. So they're kind of like in their bored era, which I don't blame you.
29% said I love single life, and 71% said I prefer being in a relationship.
That's because y'all not doing single life right. I feel like that's what it is. Like I feel like you can love both versions, and you know, I'm not saying that y'all hate it or whatever, but like people really lean on like, oh, I just want a relationship. Oh, I just can't wait, you know, and like that you don't even enjoy your single life because you're too busy thinking about, oh, I need my next relationship. Right. But let me keep on with my responses. Somebody said relationships. I love sharing and experiencing life with my partner. Somebody else said in a relationship, tired of being single. Somebody said single, heard you. Life is much simpler this way. Okay.
What does that mean?
Like, being single is just simple.
Okay.
Relationship, but with the right person. Nothing beats being in a relationship. The growth you as an individual with a lifetime partner is unmeasurable. Okay.
Somebody said single because I'm broke. And I thought that was funny.
That's valid.
No, but I'm going to get into this later. But in my research, I found that actually single people are
more wealthier.
Yeah.
Yeah, financially. Yeah.
But I would a little disagree with that, because nowadays it's really hard for a single person to live alone. Like, really.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's
Not to prefer, but just where I am right now. They both have their pros and cons. Okay. That was an interesting start. I say relationship. It has made me become confident, self-love, healthy relationship for the win. Somebody said single. I prioritize myself and take more chances in life. Period. I enjoy both, but being single helped me be a better / stronger / softer person for my girlfriend. I heard you. Single because I'm broke. Single, life is much easier and calmer. Single, I know I genuinely give a fuck about me. There's no confusion. Okay. Single coming in strong. Somebody said being in a relationship, you get a partner to do everything with. That's valid. Don't have to worry as much about another person, but I overall prefer relationships. Okay. Single until I am ready to give someone my all. I can get with some. I can get with someone, but I will not be my best friend. Some of these, I don't know if I just really can't read or some of these shits just don't make sense. I love doing life with my wife. Okay. So, moral of the story is a lot of people feel like relationship is the vibe.
Let's get into this article. So it says, it is human nature to want love, to find someone you can connect and build with. Learning how to express, give, and receive love is a big part of our journey. However, when is it the right time to find or build that love with someone? Do you want to talk about your single life? Your single self?
My single self.
Who is she?
Who was she?
How was your dating experience when you were single?
First of all, my single life, I have to remember a little, it's been a little bit. I think, which I feel like I mentioned, I think I spent most of my single life just doing whatever I wanted to do.
Pretty much.
Just making sure that I was like fulfilling my own wants and needs and kind of just exploring to figure out what those wants and needs were. Obviously, in that time that I was single, it initially wasn't by choice, but beyond happy that it happened that way because I did a lot of things. I made so many friends, people that, I reconnected with old friends that I kind of had space from while also creating new bonds and relationships with other people that I maybe, that kind of was lingering around or knew some of the same people that I knew, like mutually, but never had the chance to like get to know each other. So I feel like I created a lot of good friendships. I found myself to be a lot more bolder and confident and comfortable in myself just because I was spending all this time with myself. When you spend all this time with yourself and it's like you start seeing and forming into this person that like, I don't know, I just feel like when you with somebody, you're trying too hard to be the person that person you're with wants. Mm-hmm. You're not focusing on like what it is and who it is that you want to be. So I think like in that time, me not worrying about somebody else and how I could be a good partner, I just worried about like how I could just be the best person for myself. Mm-hmm. So I think I was very carefree, very open, heavy in trying new things and exploring new things, exploring new people, dating different types of people that were outside of like my type. And I say, type with air quotations because, I thought I had a type and I broke through limitations basically. Like I broke mm-hmm. through barriers and limitations that I built for myself and that people had put in place for me. And once I like ran through them things and was like, yo, I could do anything. Mm-hmm. I was just doing anything. And it's funny because I always tell her, I'm like, yo, you really don't know who I was when I was single. And she can never fathom the thought. She's just like, girl, whatever. And I'm like, yo, you really don't, like.
No, I think I do know, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. Because I'm like, yo, I'm so soft with you. And I, whatever. Like, I don't even know who I really, like, even when I got with you, it was like, I didn't know this version of me. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew I had a lot of love to give. I knew I was just waiting for a person that I felt like I could give that vulnerability to. And then when I finally got it, I was like heavy in it. Like, I loved it. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, like, why am I so pussy right now? I hate to use that word, but it's like, why am I so like really extra soft right now for this girl?
What do you miss about that version of yourself of being single?
I think, I don't know, I guess just the not having the responsibility of owning shit, or like, I don't know how to say it, but like when you're with another person, you everything you do has to be also in consideration of that person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, not that I don't like to be considerate,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I always try to be considerate. I just think, like, sometimes you just don't want the responsibility of being like, fuck, I gotta do this because I want to be a good partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know how to explain it, but if I want to be lazy for the day, I just want to be fucking lazy for the day and not have to be sorry for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that I have to, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you don't gotta worry about nobody but yourself, in a sense.
Yeah, like you're selfish.
Yeah,
But,
like you get to
in
be selfish.
in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
How about you?
Single me. I think when I was single, I got to be selfish, kind of like how you said. Like, I feel like it was kind of like you do things on your own time, and like you do whatever is it that you want to do, and there's nobody at home that you gotta reconsider. You get me?
Yeah.
And that comes also like with your job and like anything. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get into this later, like when you're single, like you have more time to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
So it is more common for single people to go to the gym and be more active and just be on top of like their physical wellness, not only because they have the time, but also because like they want to look good. Like, I feel like you care more about your looks kind of like when you're single.
Yeah.
Because your options are open, so you're kind of just like, well, you never know who I'm gonna run into, or you never know who I'm gonna see at the gym, or like you kind of have like your eyes are like kind of like wandering. I feel like every day is kind of like spontaneous. Like, it's like
You just do whatever you want.
you can
Nothing
do
has
whatever
to
you
be
want to do
planned.
after work. You can go get happy hour. Like, it's not like you have to like double check with anyone.
Right.
You can book a trip and be out of here. Like, I don't know. It's like you're
Yeah.
really like solo dolo, which is there's pros and cons to that. So I feel like I got to. It's weird because I feel like when I went away to like Miami, I actually was in a relationship. And I got out of that relationship, and I was probably in Miami for like 2 months after that. So it wasn't like I was being a hoe out here. Nah. So it was just like I was tied down. And like when I was in college, like I was also in a relationship my first 2 years.
You a relationship
Nah,
girl. You a
man.
serial dater. Whoa.
But then my last 2 years of college, I was single, but it was kind of like I need to really focus on academics and my job. So it was like,
So you ain't had your whole phase.
no, because I was always working. So it was just like I need to go to work, and then I need to study for classes. Like, it was just like I was on grind mode. I didn't even have social media for one of those years. So it wasn't like I was out here dating people. That also wasn't a thing. I feel like I have my phases where it's like I'm either grinding or I'm just like out having a good time. So yeah, I haven't had like a crazy long single phase. Maybe like a year max.
That was your longest like single.
Well, no, after college. Well, during college it was 2 years, but I was like really focused on academics, and then met someone when I graduated, and that that was for like a year, and I was in Miami still. It was like a long distance thing, and then I came back, and I was single for a little bit, and I was focusing on my health. Like, I lost a lot of weight. I started doing CrossFit, so I was focused on my job and like getting healthier. So I feel like you're really just focused, which is kind of like a good thing, because you just become your best self, ready for whoever it is that comes into your life. All right, so I kind of want to go over some facts from Business Insider, and it's this article that says why you may be better off single. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because we do have a lot of lover girls. So I was just like, let me be a devil's advocate and Google this. So number one, it says single people tend to have more time for physical activity, which is what I said. Single people might be healthier than those coupled up. According to a study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, divorced people get more exercise than married people.
Well,
But the ones who are the most active are those who have always been single. In a blog post by Psychology Today, social psychologist Bella De Paulo discussed how women who have always been single are more healthy overall than currently married women and also have fewer sick days and fewer doctor visits. So I started thinking about my friends and like those who are in relationships and those who are single, and like one of my best friends, he's married, but definitely not someone who goes to the gym like at all. Like physical activity is like not there. And then I have a single friend and she goes to the gym every single day. Like she does not miss a gym day. She's super fit, super strong. And I wonder if that would change if she was to get into a relationship. But who knows? Then it says number two, singles tend to be better at keeping friends. A study published in the journal Context found that people who had always been single were more attentive to their friends and family than married people. People in romantic relationships may invest all their time and energy into their partner, but miss out on the stable base of having deep friendships that ultimately last the longest. The people who bounce from relationship to relationship are putting all of their time just in their partner. So no wonder they feel lonely, she said. You feel lonely because you've let your friendships go. And that happens a lot. All the time. I've had friends who they got into relationships and I never heard from them after that.
yeah.
And then I heard from them when they got married type shit. Congratulations, girl.
I mean, I get it. You're dating, you're with this person all the time, and then it's like there's this idea that's just like once you get in a relationship, you have to start building. You
Yeah.
have to start building. You have to start like and I just it's like if this is really your person and you guys are gonna be together for a lifetime, so to say, like you got a lifetime to get to know them. You got a lifetime to build, and you also got to think like you don't ever stop getting to know your partner because you guys change as well. So I don't know. I think one of the things that I feel like when you spend too much time with your partner, or like you cut out the things that are best for you individually, it puts more pressure on the relationship. I think, and it adds more like it. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it brings that sense of like resentment and just struggle in the relationship because it's like you have no outlet. Your outlet is your relationship, and your conflict is your relationship. Like everything's just all in one.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's necessary to have those outlets to family and friends, like. Since we've moved up here, like before when we used to live down south, she would come up north Jersey to like see her friends, her family, blah, blah. It's not ideal, obviously, to travel time, but you're going to do it. And like since we moved up here, I go home, I spend a weekend at home, I just, it's nice, and it gives us time to like get away, have our own space, have our own time, and just recenter ourselves, I guess. So you gotta have them outlets. You gotta have those friends.
It also says single people are sometimes better off financially, despite what? I can't read. Despite reports that single people are hit hardest when it comes to the cost of living, there could be a financial advantage to being single. Ike. According to debt.org, 21% of single people had credit card debt compared to 27% of married couples without children and 36% of married couples with children. And then it says a post on Wealthify also laid out that singletons can better take advantage of not having a partner to consider by taking more risks and having more time to put into a side hustle. Then it says number 4, being single can mean doing better at work because it opens up more opportunities. Single people are also potentially more likely to value meaningful work, according to De Paulo. Not having to worry about maintaining a relationship can mean putting more effort into your career. So, yeah, I do agree with all of those, honestly. But the one that says that you're better off financially, I would kind of disagree with that.
I mean, you lived by yourself
Yeah.
at a point in time.
Yeah. But yeah, and I had a good job at that time.
Okay, but you were financially
Yeah.
stable.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's valid.
I guess. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it makes sense because it's like I said, you know, you have more time to put into your work.
Right.
So that overtime you be picking up or them side hustles that you spending time on to make that extra money, like that make a big difference.
It really
and
does.
I honestly, especially with the career I had at the time where it was like I could work overtime, make extra money, like I was making money.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't in a rush to leave home either. So it was like I was lucky enough to where I didn't have to hurry up, find a place, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I still would have been good had I lived on my own. But that was because of the job that I had and the overtime opportunity that I had as well.
Right.
But I do think I had the most money when I was single.
Same.
When you get into a relationship, not saying it's just like, oh, well, we, you know, you would think we had more money.
No.
But it's like now, you know, rent, car payments, student loans, dogs. Like, you know, you doing couple shit. And couple
Student
shit
loans.
turn into a lot of money.
Right.
Vacations, you know, I mean, we lucky enough and I think we're stable enough where we can afford those things. So you think about it in terms of I don't have the money like I used to, but look at the things I have in what's the word, look at the things that I have instead of that money. You know?
Oh,
Does that
yeah,
make
right.
sense?
Because there's people who have money and they're like miserable.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
They're
you got all
like-
this money and you're doing what with it?
they're
Oh,
like-
you just have money? Like,
Right. Like there's some people that I know who have a lot of money, but relationship wise, even family relationships are not the best. And then like when it comes to holidays or like special occasions, they're spending time in like vacations, but they're kind of alone. And let me tell you something, when I went to the Dominican Republic, I did go with family, but I did feel like I was alone for a little bit. And I was like, how do people travel alone? Like I gotta go meet somebody or talk to people. Like it's a little lonely.
yeah.
But yeah, and then it goes into being alone can be stressful, but so can being with the wrong person. There's nothing more lonely than being with the wrong person.
Facts.
Being single for a prolonged period rather than settling for someone who stresses you out is going to be much more valuable in working out what it is that you want and deserve. Someone who doesn't want any alone time, that's a problem, she said. Wait, no, it says someone who doesn't want any time alone, that's a problem. She said they're running from something. They're scared of something. So there's a massive element of avoidance, which drives anxiety. Getting into the wrong relationship because you want to avoid feeling or thinking too much may protect you in the short term. But in the long run, you're hurting yourself. So I feel like this applies to people who literally go from relationship to relationship. Like it's like they're already looking at someone else while they're ending their current relationship instead of just having some time alone where you can kind of just think about what is it that you want and in that time better yourself, really. And then I had seen something where somebody had said that good relationship and then they put like the plus sign.
Yeah.
And then they put single and then they put bad relationship. Kind of like being in a good relationship is obviously everyone's like goal. And then being single is nice, but then being in a bad relationship is not it. Like for that, you should just be single until you find that good relationship. And they said being single is better than being in a bad relationship. When you're in a good relationship, it's better than being single. But yeah, let's go into like the relationship base side. When did you realize that you wanted to be in a relationship?
I was single for a long time. So obviously I was not in a rush to get in a relationship because I was enjoying too much of me time and doing whatever the fuck I wanted. So I wasn't looking for a relationship or in a rush for a relationship. I knew that one day I would want one, but I was very picky. So for me, I was meeting people, I was dating, and I met some good people along the way, but it wasn't.
Just wasn't a good fit.
It just wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't. There was a feeling that I was in search for that I just felt like it wasn't clicking for me. You know, like I said, I met a lot of good people, and I was like, oh, I could consider that, or oh, why wouldn't I like somebody like that? And it all came down to like an internal thing where I was just like, I don't feel it. Like I don't feel it. It just isn't clicking.
Right.
So I think when I started dating you, I was like, all right, I like it. Picasso. Add me in. And I don't know. I don't really know what it was with you, why it was different with you. I don't know.
She doesn't know.
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
I think that in the beginning when I started dating you, or like I was getting to know you, I think what drew me in was like your sense of independence and maturity. I feel like you were giving such strong women vibes, and I have a thing for strong women, and I think that that's a mommy thing.
Oh, really?
I think that that's a mommy issue because
You
my
met me
mom
when
is
I was
such a-
what, 24?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 25.
25.
25.
Okay.
Yeah. You had just turned 25. I think that I say that that's a mommy issue is because my mom is like a really like strong and independent person, and that I think like the way my mom is obviously how I am, and I felt like I've had that relation with you, and I could relate with you was because I was like that too. So I don't know. That might sound weird, but
I don't think it sounds weird.
okay.
Yeah.
So I just felt like, wow, like I respect that so much that it was like, I want that. And then I was also like, oh, I want a badass bitch with an attitude. And now I'm regretting it. Now I'm like, oh my God. No, but I just felt like very comfortable with her off the rip. Like it was very nice. I was just like, wow, like something about her is like soothing and comforting. And I always revert back to this time because when we first met on our date, she was like touching me and stuff. She's not an affectionate person. Don't let her lie to you. But that day she was. And I was just like, oh my God.
Well, you was on edge.
Yeah. Because to me too, I was like, I'm not an affectionate person, so I'm not about to gas her, but I will let her know that my hands are sweaty. So I just remember her like rubbing my back and shit, and I was just like, wow, this is nice. I kind of like this. Like I might actually be affectionate with this one. And yeah, you see how that's going. But I think at that point I was just like, yeah, I like her. And then the more time we spent together, and obviously I think us being apart initially and not having that conveniency of always like,
right.
We didn't live close to each other. She was up north, I was down south. So it was like, there was this
hour and a half.
Yeah. So it was like, I didn't have the conveniency of seeing her all the time. And I think that helped and played into it because we had space from each other. So we had time to miss each other. We had time to like, nothing was rushed.
Yeah.
So, which is necessary because I also feel like we're both people who don't rush. We're very particular people.
Yeah.
Very. And I think I could tell those similarities and it kind of drew me in.
Yeah.
Good looks. That's all I got.
I feel like for me, so I went from being like in a good relationship when I was dating that guy, right? It was a good relationship. However, there was like things that lacked, and I was just like, something just wasn't it for me. And then I went into a relationship after that with a woman, and it was a bad relationship. So my first experience with a woman was a toxic relationship. I doubt they would ever hear this or see this, but it was a toxic relationship. I don't care what nobody says. Like, I mean, there's always three sides to stories. Your story, my story, and then the truth. But I would say that was pretty toxic. on both ends, but I do think that I whatever. But yeah, so I was like, I was very confused about everything. I was like, is this how a relationship is supposed to be? Because I really liked that person, but at the same time, it was such a toxic relationship that it reminded me of my first relationship with a guy, which was also a very toxic relationship. um and I was like, it doesn't have to be this like crazy intense romance. Like it's not a movie. And I feel like I always knew that, and I know other people who I guess aren't that experienced, they think that that's like exciting and like, oh my god, I get butterflies. But it's like, no, like you have anxiety. Like like you're not dating someone who makes you feel calm, and that's what I wanted. And then I dated someone after that, but it wasn't a relationship. It was literally just, I would say it was like a fling. But I knew I didn't want anything with that person seriously, and I would always communicate that because of things that they did that I just didn't really agree with. And then when I met you, I was like, this is someone that I had yet to come out. So I was like, I will come out when I feel like I found the right person, like it's for me. Because I, first of all, not everyone got to meet my parents. Even if we were dating, like not everyone got to meet my parents. I was very particular with that and very picky. So I was like, if I'm gonna come out, it needs to be with the right person. So when I came out, it was when obviously when I was dating you, and I was like, yep, this is my girlfriend. I'm moving in with her, and I'm moving to South Jersey. So it was like a triple wham. Like, whoa, yeah, too much going on.
Bang.
Which is like a little crazy, but I feel like at the time for me that's what felt right. And I said I would never like move to South Jersey, but I was like, well, I work from home, so who cares where I live? And I am the type of person where I really, really would live anywhere and try it out. Live
anywhere.
I would just try it out because it's an experience wherever you go, and you could always just move back. Like, what's happening?
That's that. I work from home.
Right.
Mental.
Right.
Because girl, ain't no way. There's not like, oh, I could just go back, move anywhere. Like, no, girl, I got a job, I got a career, I'm locked in. I can't just pick up and move.
Right. And finding a job isn't easy nowadays, obviously. No. So my mentality was like, I'll move anywhere, and it made sense because I was like, we're moving to South Jersey, we'll save money. She has her family and friends there. It is what it is. So it just felt right to me. And I feel like I want to kind of go over like some reasons why like this Business Insider could be a little swayed. I think whoever wrote this is probably single, obviously. And there's some things that I would disagree with because like it says like single people have more time for physical activity. I feel like if you're in the right relationship, you guys will motivate each other to go to the gym if that's something that's important to you. And I feel like we've done that. Yeah, we may not be CrossFitters and going twice a day, but that's really not who we are.
Yeah.
We want to stay fit, we want to stay healthy, but we're not maniacs. Like, it's something that we enjoy doing, but it's not like our full personality. And like, I found that I'm the type of girl that I need different things. Like I need somebody also to guide me. And I feel like for you, like you like strength and you found that. So you go to your own gym and I go to my own gym and we kind of motivate each other like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're with the right person, you will find the time, or you guys will find the time together or separately. And if it's something that's important to you, then you would make time for it.
Yeah.
The whole single people tend to be better at keeping friends. That's another thing that I feel like people in like healthy relationships, you will make that time. Maybe you're not going to be the single friend that's always available and always trying to go to the club and stuff, but you're going to be the friend. As we get older, I feel like now as adults, you do have to schedule things. It's not even about us being in a relationship. It's about we're just busy.
Yeah.
Like things pop up. It's always somebody's birthday. It's always some celebration for something. So it's like you literally have to schedule time. And I also
feel like we might show up to places together and you think, oh, y'all always doing shit together. But it's like we showing up to these things together because we was invited together. But don't get it fucked up. We be busy separately too, that like even that time could be the only time we get. Like there's times where we literally like Pride Month, all these things back to back to back, and it makes it seem like, oh well, you guys just spent all of Pride Month together because y'all did all these things. Yeah, we did all these things,
But
we had
with
to
other
show up.
people.
Yeah, we had to show up for all these things. Other people, it's like we're not taking the time personally to connect. So it's like there's still that form of space and disconnect where it's like you see us together, but it don't mean that we
Like it's a one-on-one time. Yeah, it's like
right.
We're doing things to obviously, I guess, spend our time with other people because obviously that's important. We're sometimes they're better off financially. That's also, I mean, obviously it could be true, but it also could be false. And I also feel like if you're single, all right, let's say you have a good job, right? And at the time when I lived up north and I had that good job, what happened? I got laid off. And what would have happened if I lived alone? I mean, yes, I had a savings, and yes, they gave me like a financial package, but let's just say that money ran out and I didn't have someone to like count on. I feel like there's like a sense of like safety when you know that, well, I'm not going to be homeless because I live with someone who also has a job. And I also feel like when you want to buy a house nowadays, I was talking to my dad about it. We talk a lot about these things. My goal for this year was helping my parents find a home for them, right? My mom works under the table. And my father, he is self-employed. Still makes very good money. They're first generation, so I feel like for them things were a little bit difficult when they were coming to this country. But we realized that what my parents wanted, you need two people on the mortgage. There's no such thing as just my dad being on the mortgage. Especially when you're self-employed, they make things a little bit more difficult for you when you want to buy a house. So and I have a friend right now who is single, makes really good money, has really, really great savings. She's having a hard time finding a home because things are so expensive. And yes, we can blame it on the fact that we live in New Jersey. And of course, everything is a little bit more expensive here, especially North Jersey. But it still shouldn't be that hard, for a single person to get a mortgage on their own. So I feel like nowadays, we do have like this fancy taste and we do like luxury and things like that. And sometimes for that, you need two people on the mortgage. That way you can get pre-approved for something bigger. So you can't do that single. You cannot. So that's what I would disagree with that one. But yeah, that was like my 2 cents on those things. What do you think? You disagree? Agree?
I agree to the things that you said, but I also agree to the points made there.
Right.
It really depends because you could be with someone and have that, but even
it has to be it has to be like a good relationship.
Right. I think it just all depends on the type of relationship you have with all those things individually as well. Yeah. Because you can be in a good relationship and somebody could be not good with finances.
Oh, right. And their credit score is shit.
That's not going
to be. And y'all not going to get approved for anything.
She always in realtor mode. Right? Girl, we not talking about...
I'm just saying. It's really hard. Like, it's like your credit score could be awesome. And then your partner's credit score isn't that great. And then they always take the lower credit score. You know that? Tragic.
No idea.
Like, why? But yeah, I think it depends really on who you're in a relationship with.
Yeah. But nonetheless, take your time, get to know who you are, do the things you like to do, and know that your person and your relationship will come. Don't rush into things for other people's pleasure, and just be patient. Relationships are cool, fun, and convenient and all, but
a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work. It's rewarding in the end. I don't want to say in the end because like there's no end, but it could be rewarding when you guys are good and in the same boat. But it is a lot of work, ongoing work all the time. Like you don't just get to a good place and it stops. You have to keep working on your relationship and you have to keep working on yourself individually because, you know, you can't be half of yourself for yourself or your partner, if that makes sense.
Period.
That's all I got.
All right, let's get into the family meeting. First one, do we have time? My girlfriend and I are going on 8 months. First 6 months were long distance, and we recently moved in together. I'm a little slower at opening up, but I'm loyal to a T. I'm a Cancer zodiac. Anyway, we had a rough patch at the beginning due to lack of trust, etc. Come to find out, my intuition is always right. She left her iPad home one day, and I found sexual deleted messages with a guy she was hanging with when we were long distance. She eventually admitted to self-sabotage in the relationship. Mind you, it was the healthiest relationship we both have been in. Anyways, she wants to work through it, but I don't know. I've never been one to cheat in any form, so I guess I'm just stuck.
Damn, that was like a triple whammy. I left the iPad, I opened the iPad, I saw deleted messages, and the messages was from a guy. Woo!
See, people play themselves with the whole iPad, the Apple Watch, the computer. That's how most people get caught. You guys be connecting every single thing to everything.
And I get it. It's convenient at the time because you like, yo, I can access all this shit on one thing. But boy, can you forget.
You playing yourself. Like, I had a friend who the same thing happened to her. Her man had left the Apple Watch in her house, and I don't know, she found out the code some way, and she went through his messages through the Apple Watch. You gotta be smart, especially if you over here cheating.
Yeah.
Like, messages from
They don't take
deleted
nothing to slip up.
messages. I don't even know how you find deleted messages, but yeah.
Delete your deleted messages, stupid. Empty your trash.
How do you do that? Oh,
Empty your trash.
I didn't know that was a thing. I thought once you
Yes.
deleted it, it was gone.
Let me go through your phone.
There's nothing.
look through your
Girl, I
deleted
literally
conversations.
actually don't delete my messages because I'm an agent. So I
That's
need,
so much.
I need to have everything.
That's crazy to me. That's a whole like Bible. That's like
And
a
it's still
fucking-
going.
That's crazy to me. You probably got. That's probably before you started realtoring. That's crazy. That actually skeeves me out. She's just scrolling. You could barely see it, but it literally looks like how you say that? Them phone directories. It's just messages, random numbers. That actually grinds my gears. That's one of my pet peeves. One, that your fucking inbox is jumping with all these, like, if I can scroll for that long, ew. Pet peeve. Another pet peeve, people who don't open their fucking messages.
I open mine.
When you go on and it's like
90,
158 messages unread, like, bitch, if you don't just turn your read receipt off, nobody knows that you read it. Nobody knows that you seen it. Why do you leave the notification
And mind you, it'd be like a group chat.
Skeevy, yo, put that shit on do not disturb. Like, I don't know, pet peeve of mine. But go ahead, as you were.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard for you to really trust her because in the first 6 months that you guys were in a relationship, she was talking to some guy. So it's like, what is it that you want?
Yeah, you're always gonna carry that around.
And if it was a long distance, then like I wonder how long distance it was because it's like you literally moved all the way here.
Yeah.
It's so tragic. I don't know, maybe couples therapy or something could work so you could trust her again. All right. Next question. It says, as a newly gay woman, how do you date women? I'm a femme, but not really girly girl, if that makes sense. I wear tight clothes. I wear makeup sometimes, very rarely. I wear makeup, but if you make me feel pretty, I probably won't wear makeup. LOL, do you have any advice for a newly gay woman looking to date seriously and not just date to date? It's really hard for people to know that you're gay if you're a femme. Like, it's truly impossible. Like, you're going to go out and guys are literally going to hit on you. You got to go out and go to the gay club. You got to download the dating apps. I feel like you as a femme need to be the one making the first move, kind of.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think like it puts you in a position to where you have to be more bold and you have to be more kind of like assert yourself more into
Right.
spaces and like having to talk to people because half the time they don't know.
Right. And Instagram isn't a dating app, but people do use it as a dating app.
Valid.
You gotta start liking like 3 pictures, like 1, 2, 3. And if they like it back, then it's like, then you gotta DM them. Hello.
I'm crying. I guess that's one strategy.
I mean, how many pictures do you have to like for them to know?
It used to be you go to
And
the
you
older pictures and you like the older pictures.
That's too much.
And then they know.
That's
Because
too
then it's like
much.
you scrolling through my shit. So if you scrolling through my stuff, like you really trying to see what's up.
Really?
Yeah. That's the real tactic right there.
Really? Old pictures.
But yeah.
Well, you do what you want, girl. But yeah, you gotta make the first move. That's really it. But yeah, y'all, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Is that all?
Yup. Deuce, mother goose.
Bye.